All right, so here we have Bitcoin on Bybit on the 1 hour. As you see, another BART, classic BART for Bitcoin. When you go up, chop around, crack back down, looking like Bart Simpson's head. Basically had another one right here recently, just recently. So we're gonna go into the story and see what happened and where we are at now. So yeah, yesterday, huge fake out, cracked up, almost hit the top of our purple zone, got front ran and rejected, cracked back down, blasted through the 21. As soon as it did that, it cracked through all major moving averages on the 1 hour quickly. And then, had a stair step, came back down, front ran the bottom of our purple zone once again, and then, had your little double bottom, pop back up, got above the moving averages. Then you were sitting there resting, kind of trying to get back into that purple zone, but you did make a lower high. All right. And now you are basically sitting right at the bottom of the 21 and the 50. These moving averages are converging and diverging against each other. I mean, you're still basically in a range. You had a fake out. You had a bull trap right there, but you're still in the range. For the most part. I mean, yeah, you're a little out of it, I guess. You got a little out of it again, I guess, but still, it's still a range. Boring the shit out of everybody. Could be, it is a 18.5, and I mean, it is a $2,000 range, so there's still some good opportunities there, but still, so until we really break one of the, either this low or this high, I mean, we're still just going to remain, in here, but the levels are getting tighter and tighter. Because now, in my opinion, if we break this last low at, let me see here. Yeah, I mean, I would even say if we break 18,800 on a 1 hour closure, I would expect us to come all the way back down to these lows, these wick lows, possibly even 1,800. If 1,800 breaks, 16,500 is the next level I'd be looking at. Let's check out the momentum. So on your momentum oscillators, which is your RSI here, your MACD here, both momentum oscillators, judge bullish and bearish momentum. Right now, we are getting out of the bearish control zone on the 1 hour. It's coming up to test the signal line. It's going to be high resistance as it's coming basically right in where your neutral median line is. You need to get back above 19,285 in order to cross that signal line to the upside. Here on your MACD, fresh cross the zero line, but you're curling back around a little bit. You usually find some support or resistance on the first pass on the zero line. Sometimes it can front run it, sometimes it can overrun it, but you usually find some sort of support or resistance around there. Now, if it blasts through on a follow through, then that's going to be another story. But let's see, if you need to stay above 19,291 in order to, you need to get back above that in order to turn this around. All right, you need to get back above 19,872 in order to cross that signal line to the upside and get above 19,530 in order to cross the zero line to the upside. So those are basically your levels that you need to try to turn this MACD around. Right now, your BBWP, which measures volatility, it's a volatility indicator, is above its moving average. It's starting to curl over a bit. I do expect this to continue to go up. I do expect the volatility is here, like we were talking about 2 days ago, and it happened. We were talking about right here that the volatility was about to happen, and as soon as it popped above its moving average right here, that's when you knew it was coming, and then boom, there you go. Move happened pretty shortly after. So let's see here. So yeah, BBWP is probably going to continue to rise. Either we need to break these moving averages at 19.3, well, basically right where our wick high is right now. If we can do that, I think we could come up somewhere around these last highs at 19,600, possibly even 19,500. And then, find out whether we get the rejection or if we continue up. If we continue up on a 1 hour closure, I think it could come up and test somewhere around 20,100, something like that. if you do get rejected from here, I would expect you to come back down to these lows at the 18,400 level. That would also imply that we get back into the bearish control zone, though, for that bearish case. And that won't look good. And that would also imply that you're going to have some follow through on your MACD and your signal line crossing that zero line as your BBWP continues to expand. Now, that's basically the bearish case. And plus, then your moving averages would have a multi-crossover, all right? And then they would fan out confirmation. If they get a multi-crossover as we're breaking the bottom of this range, and they have a fan out confirmation as the bearish control zone is, as the RSI line is deep in the bearish control zone, and your MACD starts printing red bars on the histogram lower than these red bars, I do think we break 18K almost like butter. For real, if all that is happening at the same time as we break this range low, yeah, I think we would get some sort of a small bounce at 18K, but not the big bounce that we were, that we were thinking earlier last week. Yeah, I mean, there's just too many variables, too much momentum, and too strong of a downside trend if all those characteristics happen at the same time. Okay, so definitely watch all that. The bullish case is that you basically break your last high at 19,600 on a 1 hour closure. I would expect a small rejection, well, maybe a big rejection from somewhere in 20,400 to the 20,500 region. And then if we get back above there, I mean, we'll come back to it because that's going to imply that we probably get up to like 22K, 21,800. But, we'll come back to that because that's the lower probability that we're going to go up that high. Now, we could go up to here. We could go up to 19,500 again and just fuck with everybody's head again, which Bitcoin likes to do. It likes to bore the shit out of you and mess with your head. So just stay nimble if we do get around this point right here. And honestly, if we get rejected from right here and break this last low at 18.9, say 19K on a 1 hour closure, I would expect us to test these lows at the 18,500 level, somewhere in this purple region. So stay nimble right now because these lines, these levels of interest are getting closer and closer to the price action. All right. Honestly, if we break the POC at 19K, 1980, it's not going to look good because then that's going to add a resistance at the top. That would most likely say we're going to break this last low at 19K. So just definitely watch this POC on the VPVR right here, which is it's an indicator that measures horizontal volume at a certain price point. This gray and gray indicator right here. So yeah, just watch that POC, well, which is the middle of this. If you don't have the paid plan, you can't have this. But if you watch my videos, you can see it. All right, so yeah, I mean, that's about it for Bitcoin. By the way, I've only got like 2 hours of sleep last night, so sorry if my mind's a little jumbled right now, but we're going to do our best. And let's move on to, okay, so we have a bullish order block right under us. We're on the 4 hour right now. We have a bullish order block right under us, and that's basically what we bounced off the bottom of, okay? So now if we enter back into this, oh, see, look, there's that level again, 19K. If we enter back into this zone, that's not going to look good. I don't know if you use these indicators, but this is my range chart. The other one is my trend chart, and then I have my macro chart. But, we do macro every now and then. But yeah, if we enter back into this zone on a 4 hour closure, that's not going to look good. We got 11 minutes left on this one, so we'll see what happens. Right now, your stochastic is pointed to the downside, has two rejections coming off of the signal line, resumption down. All right, so let's see here. Do we have any? No. Nope. So let's see. Actually, we did have bullish divergence, but that already played out. So yeah, I mean, that's about it for Bitcoin. Bullish and bearish case, those levels are getting tight. And just watch the levels. Watch your momentum. All right, see what it's doing when we break either one of these levels. See where your momentum's at, and then you'll probably have some follow through. Let's move on to Ethereum. All right, so Ethereum having some trouble at the POC point of control and the VPVR, and starting to get rejected from the 21 and the 50. We are sitting on the 200 right now. I can't even see where the 100 is. Okay, so we're right above the 100 as well. All your moving averages are converged right now. So whichever way these move, whichever way these pop out and fan out, that's going to decide your true trend. But that's not going to happen until this breaks out one way or the other and your momentum follows through. So right now in your RSI, you are getting out of the bearish control zone. You're trying to get above your signal line right now in the current tick, testing the neutral median line. All right, MACD, fresh cross to the downside, but you're finding some support. So we could have a bounce off of this. If it does cross the signal line, that'll look pretty good. But if it just gets rejected from that signal line and crosses that zero line again, not going to look good. All right, so your BBWP, which remember measures volatility, is above its moving average. Your moving average is curled up to the upside. So, the volatility is most likely about to resume it's most likely about to happen as it's coming in from a pretty low read. Not as low as, about 7%. All right. So I would expect the volatility to continue. And either we're going to break this last high at 1351 region. If that happens, I do think we would go up to about 1400 pretty quickly. Basically these last highs. All right, and then we come back to it. Because if we can break that, next stop, 1480. Yeah, I would say 1480. Maybe a small rejection at 1430, but ultimately, yeah, I think we would go up to 1450 to 1480 if we can break that last high. All right, and that would also imply that we work our way up to the bullish control zone up here on your RSI. MACD bounces off of the zero line, crosses its signal line with some follow through, getting back above this last high on your MACD. As your BBWP would continue to expand. All right, so long story short, break this last high at 1350, probably going to go to 1450. All right, if you break this last low, 1300, probably going to $1,000. I would expect a small bounce at 1265 region, 1265 region. But ultimately, I think if you would break that level at 1300, I think $1,000 is the next stop, because that would also imply that Bitcoin broke its last low and that momentum is starting to roll over on Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like I said, these levels are tight right now. So a lot's going to depend on what happens today, tomorrow, in the next few candles. All right. So there's your bullish and bearish case for Ethereum on the trend chart. Let's look at Stochastic. Okay, so Stochastic, converging and diverging. I mean, it's neutral right now. There's no telling if it's going to, cross to the downside or going to bounce up. We kind of got to wait for the next tick. Now, you had a triple bullish order block right here, and you bounced right off of it. All right, so that's going to be major support like we see. All right, so, yeah, I mean, major support. Right now, you're sitting right above the POC point of control in the VPVR. Now, if it does fall back into this region, I expect that support to break. And look where it's at, 1300. It's right at 1300. If we do fall back below that region, like I said, it's going to cascade down. All right, that's basically all I wanted to show you for the Ethereum. I just wanted to show you how that level correlated. All right, so let's move on to Solana. Solana is not doing too bad today. We are still in a range, just in a range. Did have that fake out when Bitcoin barred the other day, and then you're just in the range. Now, the thing is that one thing I do notice right now is, let me see if the volume profile is right. No, it is not. Okay, never mind. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see something. Could have a head and shoulders here. Could. Let's see where that measured move would lead us. That measured move would basically lead us right to this purple zone right here, down at about $30. That's just an idea. I'm not much of a pattern trader. I just noticed that right off the bat. So I figured I would say something about it before I'm not much of a pattern trader, but head and shoulders, ascending and descending triangles, those things I have found that work pretty often. There's also like the BART pattern and shit like that works surprisingly well. All right, so here in Solana, your momentum right now is looking pretty good. You are above your signal line, you're above the neutral median line, you're working your way up to the bullish control zone. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, besides for potential bull bearish divergence, unless you can get that RSI up past this last high, if you can get that, it'll invalidate that bearish divergence. But if this is a confirmed high, then you're gonna have bearish divergence on the 1 hour. So it's not gonna be that big of a deal, but we'll find out. Right now, your MACD did get a fresh retest, little cross fake out there, but freshly crossed to the upside. Count that as a retest. As your BBWP just crossed its moving average. Moving average is even curled up to the upside. Here comes the volatility. I think this is when we break the range. All right, let's check the 4 hour real quick. I want to check that. Okay, maybe not. Because your 4 hour BBWP is crossing. It just crossed to the downside on a few ticks ago. And your major moving average, or your moving average, has turned to the downside. Now, if this thing curls over, which if we do break we could still break the range here, because if we do break the range on the 1 hour, that momentum is that volatility is gonna curl over into that 4 hour very fast, and then it's just gonna curl around your BBWP, and as soon as that crosses its moving average, that's when either we go into this red zone at basically $40 to $45, or we start cracking down to, the 20, 27, 25 levels, like the $28, $25 levels. I mean, yeah, it's either the red zone or that once we break this range. Ebbs and flows along the way, of course, but a big move is coming for Solana, for sure. Let's check the daily real quick. I want to check. Okay, so check this out. BBWP on the daily is very, very low. It's starting to cross up. Your moving average is coming down to meet it. As soon as that thing crosses to the upside, that's what I'm saying. The move is coming. Like, the big move for Solana is coming. Right now we've just been going sideways for a while now. I think within the next 4 to 6 months, we could have a potential bottom here. I'm not in the camp that we have already seen the bottom. I could be wrong, and I mean, I've hedged my bets, but still, I think between the next 4 to 6 months, we could potentially have a bottom. So, we could be not too far away from that. We already seen $26 for Solana. I think we go a little lower, probably like to $20. $20 would be the level that I would be buying at. Not financial advice. I'm just saying that's where I would be buying. So here on your daily, though, your RSI is above its signal line and the neutral median line. MACD working its way up to the zero line. Momentum on the histogram ain't really. It's stable. BBWP, like I said, it's curling around right now. When it crosses that moving average, it's gonna happen. All right, let's go back down to the 1 hour. We'll talk about. So yeah, basically, like I said, unless we get a fake out another bull trap out of this area like we did this time, if we break this on a daily closure, like the top of this range, if we break that on a daily closure, we got front ran last time. Now, if we get rejected from there again, we're going to go down to the lower level. But I don't even think we get up here, to be honest. But if we do, that means the Bitcoin is popping off, you know, going up to the 24, 25K level again, which I don't see happening. But, you know, we have to think about the bullish and bearish case every time, you know. But yeah, so basically if you can get a closure above here, probably going to go to $40. But if you get a closure below the range lows at 30, we'll say $30.50, and I would like to see a daily closure also below there, I think you work your way down, back down to the $26 mark, probably even lower over time. All right, so if you guys like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below, one being the Discord. A lot of good conversation about trading in crypto and investing in there. We stay ahead of the curve collectively every day on these markets. I mean, we talk about these moves before they come. We really stay ahead of the curve. Collectively, we do a very good job in the Discord. Definitely join. So everyone have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, and I will see you tomorrow.